हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what means for an ordinary family. Every trip to the market costs more. Every saving loses value, and the national currency continues to slide. In Tehran, people are reportedly lining up to buy US dollars, desperately trying to protect whatever savings they have left. One 73-year-old Iranian summed up the public mood bluntly. There is no hope for a deal and a peace. And now comes the next blow. The Trump administration is preparing another sanctions package, including possible secondary sanctions against countries that continue doing business with Iran. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has argued that the pressure campaign has pushed the Iranian economy into unprecedented distress. And there is another major development. The United Arab Emirates, traditionally one of Iran's biggest trading partners and a major source of imports, has announced the suspension of trade with Iran. Now that could further squeeze Tehran's access to critical goods and commercial networks. So is this Trump's endgame? Strangle the economy, increase isolation, and force Iran back to the negotiating table? Perhaps. But Iran has one weapon that cannot be measured simply by looking at the value of the rial. Before this conflict, roughly 1/5 of world's traded oil passed.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching live and breaking, and I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. Flood fury in Nepal has led to deaths, and there are several who are missing. Rescue operations are underway. 133 Indians are also missing in Nepal. We get you all the live updates from Nepal and much more. First, a quick check of the headlines at 6. Flash floods in Nepal. Through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets, hydropower projects, and prompting authorities to warn the communities downstream along the Trachuli River. PM Modi speaks to Nepalese counterpart Balen Shah amid the Nepal floods, assures humanitarian assistance and support to the neighbouring nation.
sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills.
Big revelation on Operation Sindoor by former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan. He confirms the strike on Kirana Hills, the prime nuclear hub of Pakistan. New York City Mayor Zohra Mamdani opposes the upcoming event that has RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat at the Madison Square. Former CDS.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered an attack on either of them. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan clarified that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. The biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. Viewers, nearly 400 Kailash-bound pilgrims out of contact now after the Rasuwa flash floods in Nepal. Pilgrims are mostly Indian. They include 93 Nepalese as well. Nepalese who were preparing to cross into Tibet when a flash flood swept away roads and infrastructure in Rasuwa, viewers. And viewers, there are several of the Indians who are missing. Indian pilgrims who are going to Kailash Mansarovar are also now missing. This is the update that is coming in amidst the flood fury in Nepal, as there are hundreds of pilgrims in Nepal itself. 400 Indian pilgrims are out of contact. Most of them are Indians. And 400 Indian pilgrims are out of contact. So the search for them is on. 105 also, of course, Indians. This is a big number, viewers, we're talking about. And this is the Rasuwa flash flood. And several hundreds of pilgrims who were on their way to Kailash Mansarovar in Tibet after a flash flood in Bhote Koshi river swept through Nepal's Nuwakot and Dhading districts are missing. The death count, Nepal has only said that, of course, it's in double digits, what it told, what Nepal has reported, but the number is ticking up, is what we know. The flood water came from Tibetan side, it's being reported, causing extensive damage, washing away several villages in Nepal. And in fact, according to Nepal Tourism Board, at least 384 travelers in total are missing. 291 foreigners, 93 Nepalese nationals are reported missing from the flood-affected area. Among the foreigners are 105 Indian nationals. And they had gone for the yatra with various travel agencies. And it was 400 foreign nationals, a big number, most of them Indians. And we're just showing you more visuals as we show you the extent of damage, how the flash floods have ravaged the Tibet-Nepal border. This location is Rasuwa. You can see this furious flow of water, the sudden surge completely cannot be predicted. This is the moment when the flood hit. This is a flash flood. A flash flood means, of course, that it's the suddenness that differentiates it from the floods you usually see, that mostly have come with an alert. This was a flash flood. And another visual we'll show you from Rasuwa itself, where this entire village and these low-lying areas, they all get engulfed in this sudden surge of water. There are multiple more videos that we are showing you, viewers, that shows these horrifying visuals, terrifying visuals. Hundreds of people from different countries, a lot of them from India, are still missing. even the means to contact. There's a struggle for contacting them as well now. River banks are submerged. These are the border areas, viewers, and that's why in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the states, Indian states that border Nepal are also on alert. You can see another visual from Rasuwa. This is a truck that is swept away by in the debris and deluge. You can see that. In fact, you can't see the truck because you just see the upper portion because it's now all down there. It's under the debris. It's submerged in that flash flood. And you can understand, viewers, that the rescue operation is very, very difficult in such a situation where you see that the flow is furious and it's all water. The building collapse, you can see it gets completely engulfed. It is not even visible once the flash flood hits this structure. Very horrifying visual that's coming in from Rasuwa. And many of the hydropower transmission facilities are also affected. And power infrastructure, roads, all damaged. Authorities scrambling to assess the scale of the destruction. You can see the heavy flow of water. And several highways in Nepal have been closed. These are devastating visuals. They show torrents of muddy water crashing through the mountain valleys. The vehicles and all are swept away. They're all swept away as the water crashes through. The extent of the damage is massive, viewers. Mammoth damage, damaging settlements, and all the riverside settlements are all swept away. And viewers, if we come to talk about what really had caused one, what we understand is that there was a minor earthquake, we understand. We'll get you more details, in fact, as to what is the situation. I'm told that we have Surendra Puyal joining us on the broadcast. Surendra Puyal is joining us from Kathmandu. We can go across to him. Surendra, tell us more details as to what is the situation right now. In fact, even the 400 Kailash-bound pilgrims are out of contact.
Yes, very unfortunate day, quite catastrophic flood early in the morning, shortly after a small earthquake reported in Tibet. There was possibly a glacier lake outburst flood, and this is typically what happens. A huge amount of water just comes pouring down and washing settlements, also debris flood. There are 17 dead confirmed as of now in the evening, and scores, hundreds possibly, have gone missing or out of contact. But fingers crossed, the pilgrims who are in Tibet would be found and would come in touch with their relatives and the authorities. The situation, we understand, is as dire in Tibet, where communication line has broken down and things are quite disturbed there also. And if you talk about Nepal, it's a major disaster. It's something Nepalese have never seen in their lifetime of this generation. Somebody also drawing parallels between this natural disaster and the 2015 earthquake, that ravaged Nepal. So it's quite disturbing, quite shocking day here in Nepal.
Surendra, tell us more about what really triggered this, because this completely was a sudden surge that is being witnessed in Rasuwa. We understand that an ice avalanche led to the surge. There are also reports of an earthquake. So what are you picking up? What has triggered this situation? Because there's an alert also for more of...
based on what experts say, Nepal's Foreign Minister Shishir Khanal also confirmed that it was possibly triggered by a small earthquake, which triggered a glacier lake outburst flood in the area, high up in the Himalaya, or possibly, ice fall or glacial flooding. It has to be confirmed by the Chinese scientists, which they haven't done yet. The situation, we understand, is dire on both sides of the border. And because the water goes downstream to Nepal and into India, so it has left a trail of destruction in at least 3 districts across Nepal, including, of course, Dhading, where a bridge was washed away, and Rasuwa being the hardest hit. where settlements after settlements have been destroyed. Scores of people have gone missing, and authorities in Nepal, including the Nepali army, have mobilized their personnel, also resources for this emergency kind of situation at the local level. So it's a major disaster.
Yep. Yes, Surendra. In fact, we are getting in more updates as far as this avalanche is concerned, and we continue to show you and speak to Surendra on that. Surendra, any information onto the updates on the rescue operation, because there are hundreds of foreigners who are missing, foreign nationals, that includes Indians, 105, 133, in fact, the number has just got updated, that 133 Indians are missing in Nepal because of the floods. What are you picking up?
I saw a news report, quite credible one, a little while ago, which said actually nearly 400 tourists, including some Nepalese. When they are in China, they're all foreigners, of course, and among them there are Indians. There are non-resident Indians from across Africa, Europe, and also Canada, USA. So they all, pay homage to, of course, Kailash Mansarovar. It's a holy pilgrimage for not just Hindus, Buddhists, and other people of other faith as well. And Nepal has a major route going to Tibet, and that reason, that major border crossing, is where all of them were going to pass through. And suddenly, in the morning, this thing happened. And we don't know. Let's keep our fingers crossed that they'll get in touch with their relatives, because right now, you cannot say anything bad, anything unfortunate, because of the communication situation. The telephone line that is down, the mobile network that is not working, also in Jirong area, Jirong town across the border in Tibet. So the situation is quite alarming, and it has raised a lot of concern. And people living along the course of Trishuli River or Bhote Koshi River are simply shell-shocked, and they have never seen such devastation, such destruction in their lifetime.
All right. In fact, we have some breaking news coming in. This is, of course, the update that we were just, in fact, discussing about, that it was, what we understand is that ice avalanche had led to the surge in waters. Ice avalanche may have blocked the Lende River, and the water may have accumulated in the blockage, which may have given way. The blockage may have given way and sent a sudden surge downstream into the Bhote Koshi river, and the earthquake struck Tibet around the same time. USGS has recorded earthquake in Tibet at 8:37 a.m. The quake recorded 47 kilometers north of Gosai Kunda. Flood surged through Bhote Koshi River at 9 a.m. And the flood waters gushed in from Tibetan side, Rasuwa, Nuwakot and Dhading border districts. Ice avalanche viewers, as we were also speaking to our reporters from Nepal, that an ice avalanche could have led to this situation, and there's a report of the earthquake. So it's all interconnected, is what we understand. And Surendra continues to be with us. Surendra, there's massive damage to infrastructure, power stations, hydropower infrastructure, bridges, they've all collapsed. And there is an alert, we understand, for an avalanche that could again lead to such a surge. Surendra.
Have been washed away. At least a dozen bridges have been washed away. Several hydroelectric plants along the river course have been damaged, and as a result, Nepal is facing a shortfall of about 800 megawatts of electricity, which is a huge amount. So the light you are seeing in front of me could go out any time. So it's quite dire, and as you know, the hundreds of buildings have been washed away or damaged along the river's course, starting right from Rasuwa to Nuwakot to Dhading, and in Chitwan, the water has gone down a little bit. As it flows downstream, things remain easier because the river can divert and widen. Whereas in the mountains, you have narrow gorge, and the speed of the flow is also quite high. The current is also quite dangerous, which clearly led to the devastation you saw this evening.
Absolutely, that's viewers. The situation is completely tragic as we see the devastating visuals that have come in from Rasuwa in different parts of Nepal, in fact, and there's also alert in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Surendra, what are you picking up as far as the downstream is concerned? Because there is an alert in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar of India as well.
They can expect, weathermen here say, authorities here, including the Weather Forecasting Division in Nepal, just stated that there is still some water accumulated high up in Tibet. There is a lake, new lake that was formed, and it was plugged. And when it was it just got open, and then the flood started gushing down. So there is some water still there in the lake. That's what they're saying. So they're expecting, they're warning, telling people to expect another flood. As far as India is concerned, and the Nepal's Tarai region, southern Nepal is concerned, they can rest assured, hopefully, because as the river widens, the water spreads out, and there might be some sort of inundation, minor inundation. But when the water reaches India, crossing Gandak Barrage, there's a huge barrage with hundreds of gates. So when it reaches India, I think it will be India will be quite safe. But there could be some minor flooding in some areas. That's what I gather.
All right. That is, we have Surendra who's getting us more details from Kathmandu. And of course, the situation is grim because even India has extended aid, Surendra. We have an update coming in on that. The Indian Air Force is on standby as far as extending the humanitarian aid is concerned and aid in the rescue operations is concerned, and evacuation process is concerned. One C-17 Globemaster and one C-130J is on standby at the Palam Air Base in the national capital. At the Hindon Air Base, also in NCR, they're all set for takeoff for relief and rescue operations. So these are, of course, large aircraft, huge capacity aircraft as far as the C-130, C-17 is concerned. These are all military transport aircraft. They're built for airlift. They're large strategic airlifters. Because the situation, Surendra, is so grim, there is a need for airlifting. We've seen very heroic visuals that are coming in. Even the Nepalese army is working round the clock. We see the visuals of airlifting, visuals from the heavy flow of water. Helicopters have also been deployed, and the Indian Air Force is also keeping its military transport aircraft on standby, because in this kind of a terrain, or rather I would say the situation on ground with that sudden flow of water and the marshy land, it's difficult to carry out those operations and evacuate as many people, because they are in hundreds and thousands of numbers. The number could be ticking, unfortunately, is what we know.
Yeah, scores of people have gone missing, so officers are expecting heavy casualties. So in the next 24 hours, the picture will be clear on the actual scale of damage on infrastructure, on buildings, and also on the people, populations.
What is the official death toll as per Nepal?
Just a little while ago, the Nepal police had confirmed that 17 bodies have been recovered, and the death toll is going high. And so, that's the fear. That's the worst fear. So it could continue to go high because there's so many people who are still missing. And people can only pray for their safe return.
Right. Many thanks, Surendra, for joining us from Kathmandu. We'll keep connecting with you to get more updates from Nepal. As Republic TV continues to keep a close eye on the situation as unfolding in Nepal as India extends the humanitarian aid, and hundreds of Indians are also missing. Viewers, we'll get you more details on that.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो तुम रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो तुम रंग 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 बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे बोझे पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
Money, 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 money every month.
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
ايوه باص مكانك
رموا 4 صواريخ وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للأسف كلهم اتدمروا. للأسف الحين هم بلا مأوى. هم هالوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني أو كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بأمان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا. بدنا نحس هاي بيت شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم.
Pro-Pakistan Mamdani targets RSS chief. Mamdani opposes Bhagwat at Madison.
Indians in New York fight back Mamdani. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by Century HDF Premium Plus, Hare Boat Ka Asli Boss. Co-powered by SBI General Insurance, Chuniye Bharosa, Apno Sa.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what means.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good evening, welcome to Republic. Our top focus going to be the flash floods that have hit Nepal, the devastating impact they are having. India has already promised assistance. We're seeing relief and rehabilitation already reaching Nepal, but the devastation is catastrophic. First, a look at our top headlines. Flash flood sweep through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. At least 133 Indian tourists are missing. Prime Minister Modi speaks to Nepalese counterpart Balen Shah amid the Nepal floods, assures humanitarian assistance and support to the neighbouring nations. "400 Kailash-bound pilgrims out of contact in Nepal's flash floods." And ice avalanche led to the surge in waters. Reportedly, ice avalanche may have blocked the Lende River, due to which water may have accumulated there. Viewers, we're going to tell you how it happened. There was an ice avalanche that led to the surge in waters. It may have blocked the Lende River. The water may have accumulated in Lende. The blockage may have given way and sent a surge. The sudden surge downstream into Bhote Koshi. The earthquake then struck Tibet around the same time. USGS recorded the earthquake in Tibet at 8:37 a.m. The earthquake recorded 47 kilometers north of Gosenkunda. The flood surged through Bhote Koshi River at 9 a.m. The flood waters gushed in from the Tibetan side. Rasuwa, Nuwakot and Dhading border districts have now been hit. And I'm going to now go across to a flood victim, Unnat, who is live with us from Kathmandu, flood affected area survivor. But first I'm going to show you a video that's coming in. This is the image that has just come in, where we are showing you India standing with Nepal, viewers, and we're showing you how the ice avalanche led to the surge. What really happened at that time? This is clearly showing you the area and the impact of the devastating flood. The video that is just coming in is clearly showing that. On the left side, we are showing you images of 21st August, and on the right side, 25th August, the devastation that is caused. This is a satellite video that we're showing you the kind of devastation and damage that has taken place in Nepal. We've shown you the timeline of how the landslides were blocked, and how later this video shows you the territory that was first completely fine on 21st, and on 25th, the kind of horrifying devastation that took place. Let me now go to Unnat. Viewers, I'm now joined by Unnat, who is with us from Kathmandu, flood-affected area survivor. Unnat, I want to ask you what's been happening at the spot. Cars have been swept away, trucks have been swept away, bridges have collapsed, the flood has hit the Nepal-China border also. At Kathmandu, where you are, it said you were also flood affected. What happened when you were there, Unnat?
So at first, I'd like to correct you. I am not a flood affected victim. I am a journalist here in Kathmandu. So
I'm sorry for that, Unnat. I'll get that changed. I'm sorry for that. And I'm happy you're safe. As a journalist, you can show and throw light, Unnat, on what's been happening, what's the kind of relief and rehabilitation that's taking place in Nepal.
So I got to visit the places by a heli today. I had a heli ride with my news team here in Kathmandu. We moved to the Nepal-China border, where the flood affected the place very badly. The roads are swept away, the hydropower projects, more than 700 megawatt of hydropower projects has been destructed by this deadly landslide here in Nepal. So the rehabilitation is going on. The Nepal Army, Armed Police Force, and Nepal Police is on their way, and they are there for rescue, and they are there to help the people who are in need. So the government is doing its best. The government is asking India, China, and other neighboring countries to help in need. So the rescue team is going on, but the situation in various districts which were affected by the flood, it's very, very bad. The situation is worst. I even can't see the people. I even can't count, or I even can't assume how many people have been killed or have been disappeared by this flood. The situation here is very worst. That's, I must say.
Yes, and we're also picking up lots of information that's coming in, whether it's the tourists who not found. The tourism board is coming out. But I want to ask you, Unnat, as someone who's a journalist there, who's been tracking the developments closely, what is the kind of word coming in and support coming in from the government? We already know the Nepal Army has swung into action.
So, yeah, the government has instructed all its agencies in the local level to find the people, those are in need, because the communication system is totally collapsed. So I don't think many of them are able to communicate to the government for help. So it's now evening time, it's already dark. So I guess the rescue team will not be easy for them to find out the people who are in need. So it's very, very, very bad situation here in Nepal.
Yes, and I also want to ask you about what's happening with and in other places where the floods have taken place. Have you spoken to anyone? The people in these areas, have some of them been rehabilitated? What is the latest figures that you are picking up, Unnat?
So I just got information that more than 2 dozens of people have already, their dead body has been found, and more than 20 to 30 people or more than hundreds of people have been carried out to Kathmandu by heli, and they are admitted to hospitals in Kathmandu. More of them are on their way to get back to the hospital. So it's very, very hard to say the numbers. So I hope you can understand that. So we need to wait for some time to get the accurate and the actual information from the government side. We are talking with the local residents there. They are searching for their own people. They don't know where their family members, their friends, their colleagues are. So it's very, very harsh situation here in Nepal.
Thank you, Unnat, for giving us those details. Our prayers with the people in Nepal and also everyone who's stuck here. Viewers, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening here in Nepal, in all these places that we are showing you. And viewers, I want to tell you right now, at least 133 Indian tourists are among the 291 foreign nationals reported missing after flash floods hit Nepal's Rasuwa area. Nepal Tourism Board has stated this. According to the preliminary details that have been provided, 105 and now 133 Indian nationals, 12 from the UK, 4 from South Africa, 17 from Malaysia, 3 from US, 1 from Australia and Netherlands are also unaccounted for. We stay with those pictures coming in from Rasuwa, the kind of devastation the flash floods have seen. We've also seen the Prime Minister have a word. Prime Minister Modi had a word with his Nepalese counterpart, Mr. Balen Shah. He promised all the assistance that can be given for the Nepal floods. These are the worst floods Nepal has seen. And we're also picking up details about the kind of relief that India is sending through as the massive flash floods hit the northern Nepal near the Tibet border. At the same time, I want to tell you, as hundreds are missing, several are feared dead, India is to send relief materials. We've also seen India activate itself into action with the potential crisis, with Home Minister Amit Shah speaking to the Bihar Chief Minister, and also Yogi Adityanath stating that the local authorities are moved into action in Uttar Pradesh. The news that's coming in, and we're staying with those pictures, is The floods damaged roads, hydropower projects, and others. And there is more breaking news coming in on the story. Viewers, the UK has now issued a statement. It's deeply saddened by the devastating floods which hit Rasuwa and other parts of Nepal this morning. They say their thoughts are with all those caught up in this disaster. They urge British nationals in Nepal to follow official guidance and exercise caution in the affected areas. That's the news that's also coming in from the United Kingdom, that is also trying to seek its people. Let me get you more breaking news coming in. More breaking news that's coming in. The Embassy of Nepal in India says Nepal was struck by a severe flash flood this morning, causing loss of lives, missing people and extensive damage to homes, roads, bridges, infrastructure. The rescue and relief operations are fully underway, they say. Details are being verified. Any foreign assistance will be coordinated centrally from Kathmandu. I want to go across to my colleague Chandrakala, who's bringing us that news. Chandrakala, you're live with us. You've spoken to the Nepalese authorities at the embassy. What are the details you are picking up as several are reported stuck in these flash floods?
Well, yes, now what we're learning is that currently the Indian embassy in Nepal is closely coordinating with the government of Nepal for the early rescue and relief of Indian nationals who are affected by today's flash floods. Also, the fact that there were at least 105 Indian nationals who went missing. Earlier also, we have seen a statement where coming in from the Indian embassy in Nepal providing all kind of assistance. Of course, there are few emergency numbers that has been provided by the Indian embassy there in Nepal. Of course, I would like that number should be flashed immediately for the assistance for the families affected, of course, and the fact that there were like 105 Indian nationals who were affected and who are missing right now. And as far as rescue efforts is concerned, this is underway. And, we know that this is one of the most devastating flash floods that we are witnessing in Nepal. We have seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking to the Nepalese Prime Minister just a while back, and also given India's neighborhood first policy, India has provided all kind of humanitarian assistance to Nepal. We have also seen Home Minister Amit Shah speaking to Bihar Chief Minister as far as threats for floods are concerned in Bihar. So yes, a very, very critical situation as far as we know that there were as far the official data that we are learning, there were at least 291 foreign nationals who were of course, and there were a total of 384 tourists, including 291 from, of course, including India, the United States, the UK, and Malaysia, who are currently, missing as a result of the flash flood. Of course, we have seen a statement coming in from the UK embassy in Nepal, and also cautioning the people there.
I just want to interrupt you for one moment. I want you to stay with us. We're just going to go across to a new video that has emerged from Nepal. It shows the hydel projects being washed away. Severely damaged multiple major hydropower projects that have been washed away. This includes around 430 megawatt of power generation capacity from the national grid.
Bhote Koshi.
Viewers, the disaster occurred and we saw the sudden massive surge of water that's suspected to be triggered by the avalanche of glacial activity. There's more breaking news coming in. The Indian Air Force has swung into action. One C-17 Globemaster and one C-130J are on standby at the two airports of Hindon and Palam for takeoff whenever and instantly as they are told. Indian aid is ready. They're on standby to take off for relief and rescue for Nepal. And viewers, this is very crucial as Nepal will be needing all the help it can get. Our Indian jets are on standby for rescue operations in Nepal. Let me also tell our viewers, these are very specialized air jets. The C-130J, the Super Hercules as it's called, is very crucial. It is scheduled to depart first, expected around late evening, to deliver immediate relief materials. And then we have the C-17 Globemaster that is supposed to take off the following day to transport heavy equipment and massive cargo loads. More breaking news coming in. Nepal Army's assistant rescue flood-affected people is continuing. The Nepal Army pictures keep coming about how they've started the rescue operations that are underway. There's more breaking news that's coming in, viewers, and this time it's the Bhote Koshi flood has damaged 13 power projects with a combined capacity of more than 700 megawatts, including in areas of Upper Trisuli and a 220 kV substation. The reports are suggesting this was the earthquake that triggered the landslide that blocked a tributary of Bhote Koshi in China. Many details coming in, but this is the big devastation impact that is being felt in Nepal as we are speaking. It caused a massive flash flood downstream in Nepal. The trigger seems to have been, like I'm saying, a shallow, moderate earthquake, at least 13 power projects. Viewers, this includes operational plants and those under construction, totaling over 700 MW capacity went offline and they suffered structural damage. There was grid disruption. We can show you the visuals on the screen. Vital transmission structures included a 220 kV substation. Regional hubs along the Bhote Koshi and Trishuli corridors were hit, disrupting power supplies and taking hundreds of megawatts offline. Viewers, this is the top focus story that we'll continue tracking. How the landslide and the flash floods happened, what is expected. The Indian pilgrims are missing. India has said they'll continue giving action. Much more after a short break, where we come up with a special show on the flash floods in Nepal from 7 to 8 p.m. Stay with us.
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection. देश का किसान, देश का हीरो.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट.
ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े.
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े. असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो.
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात.
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट. अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं.
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा. रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट.
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट.
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान. अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान.
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट.
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने.
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ.
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता. उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ.
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट.
ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े.
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े. असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट.
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للأسف كلهم تدمروا. للأسف العين هم بلا مأوى. هم هالوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، أو كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بأمان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا، بدنا نحس. هاي بيت شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم بسبب القصف.
A party that backed triple talaq. After backing triple talaq, nikah halala and hijab. Rahul Gandhi's mission to target Hindus, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, Desh Ka Kisan, Desh Ka Hero.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
राजा आरती और मसाला
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to rupees 300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency...
A party that backed triple talaq. After backing triple talaq, nikah halala and hijab. Rahul Gandhi's mission to target Hindus, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Pro-Pakistan Mamdani targets RSS chief. Mamdani opposes Bhagwat at Madison. Indians in New York fight back Mamdani. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Co-powered by SBI General Insurance. चुनिए भरोसा अपनों सा. A party that backed triple talaq. After backing triple talaq, nikah halala and hijab. Rahul Gandhi's mission to target Hindus, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on Republic TV this evening, 7 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, as we try to make sense of what happened in Nepal. The pictures that have been coming into our newsroom since this afternoon are leaving all of us stunned, asking the experts what went wrong. But we have on the show this evening, I have with me in the studio, first of all, my colleagues Aditi and Abhishek Kapoor joining us live. And as we take you through the pictures and the details of what went wrong in Nepal, we have the defining images that came in, about 20 of them. Aditi, 20 videos and a few experts and the reporters from the ground.
The trauma that face, the pain and the misery that Nepali people are facing right now, the distress has been caught on camera. There are disturbing visuals coming in from Nepal just when in the morning that flash flood wreaked havoc in Nepal. We have more lined up. We also have Abhishek Kapoor with us, Niranjan. We'll tell you what happened exactly in Nepal. But first up, let's take a look at the headlines. Flash floods sweeps across Nepal. Very, very disturbing images coming in. Hydropower projects, markets swept away in these sudden flash floods. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to Nepalese counterpart Balen Shah amid Nepal floods. PM Modi assures humanitarian assistance and support to the neighboring nation. "133 Indians reportedly missing after the deadly flash floods hit Nepal. Rescue operations underway to locate survivors." As flash floods sweep through Nepal, Indian border states Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are put on high alert. Home Minister Amit Shah assures all assistance for potential risks. Nearly 400 Kailash-bound pilgrims, mostly Indians, out of contact after floods hit Nepal. Indian jets on standby to extend aid to Nepal. C-17 and C-130J ready to take off for relief and rescue operations for Nepal.
Right, welcome friends again, and it's a massive tragedy panning out in our bordering country of Nepal, and a cloud burst, a glacial burst, GLOF as it is called, a geological phenomenon, led to an ice avalanche blocking a river, creating a lake, then the lake bursting, and about 100-kilometer area washed out. 20 bridges, roads, people there, hydropower plants, and if you look at the pictures, horrific pictures. So this also has that border post between Tibet and Nepal, from where our pilgrims go for the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. About 6,000 in total missing or not reachable is the number given by my sources and contacts in Kathmandu, Nepal. But what is the scale of the tragedy can be seen from the pictures which Niranjan is going to bring to you.
Yeah, Abhishek, I think here we've written it's buildings swept away, but this is the border crossing between China and Nepal. Tibet specifically, because it's the Tibet-Nepal border. But this is a very famous border crossing, and you can see in this particular video, the border crossing, there's a boat there, and you can see people suddenly running. And in that video, you can see the waters gushing through the sides of this particular project. Estimated number of people at this particular site. There was also a customs office, we are told, that was completely washed out. In this video alone, we saw about 200 to 300 people running away, trying to escape the waters. But the water simply sweep them out, take them away with the gush. And in this particular video that was recorded near one of the border posts between China and Nepal, there were at least estimated 1,000, 2,000 people, but in this video you can see about 200. Nobody has the exact count of how many people were there, but some estimates saying that, of course, only official number of dead around 50, but how many missing? Thousands. We don't have an exact number to that. This is another border area that was submerged. You can see that there are many buses. Abhishek, I think you can have some details about the buses as well. So we can go full frame to this particular video, and Abhishek will speak over it. Abhishek, you want to speak over this particular video?
So, Niranjan, this is exactly the border post where transit happens for the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. This is also a trading point, a very ancient trading point between Nepal and Tibet. And if you look at these pictures, the scale of the tragedy, remember this, you can see in the pictures about 20 buses flying like matchboxes, thrown away like matchboxes. Now, and you can see people running, scrambling for cover and not knowing what's hitting them because it's so sudden. And you can really imagine the scale of the loss of life and property that has happened at just this one spot. This is the Koshi, if I am right. Yeah, and this is the border post where from where these pictures are coming. Niranjan, more pictures. Let's go to the next one. Maybe Aditi can take those pictures.
Absolutely, Abhishek, and I would like to add one more thing, that many tourists who are missing cross this certain post to go to Nepal, and at least 133 Indian tourists are currently missing in Nepal. This is what happened at 9 a.m. local time of Kathmandu when the flood struck the area. There was a glacier that had swelled, and then this is the river that swelled even more, pushing more water downstream and leaving several areas submerged. The river banks were completely swollen and submerged after this heavy downpour that came along, the sudden flash flood. You can see the bridge there couldn't handle the impact of the flash flood and the water stream that came, and it just swept away.
Okay, so many videos, in fact, hydel projects, ladies and gentlemen, at least 13 hydel projects have been washed away, we are told. 700 megawatts, that's the number, that's the amount of power that these hydel projects were about to generate. And this is another video of buildings along the river, buildings, homes along the river. The river, take a look at this. This particular video, you can see that this is the impact of how the waters gushed in and taking away homes with them. In many videos that came in, you can see the aftermath just the terraces in some cases are left behind as the water, the silt, just goes through the entire region. This is the Bhote Koshi river. Let's show you the other videos. We have about 20 of them as we try to make sense of what happened.
I would like to add one thing, that there is always an advisory issued when people do construction near river banks, and that just shows why those advisories are important for people to keep in mind, because such situations arise when you build your home near the river where there is an advisory. And another visual that we have shows you the impact of what when the river takes a monstrous nature, then this is what happens. Trucks, homes, you can see a car being swept away in between that stream, that strong stream. You can see several cars, homes just swept away when this current was too strong to handle. You can see how the homes were built so closer to the bank that they couldn't handle the impact of the swelling of the river banks and the river that had more water than it could handle. And then this is the situation that happened afterwards.
We have a sitting minister who's with us, Madhav Prasad, who is the Minister for Forest and Environment in the government of Nepal. Mr. Prasad, good evening. Can you hear us, sir?
Good evening. Namaste.
Namaste.
Just a small correction. I was in the cabinet of previous government.
Former. I forgot to add the word former, so I'll make a correction there. So we have a former Minister for Forest and Environment from the government of Nepal, former Minister Madhav Prasad with us. Mr. Prasad, we have some details. We're trying to make sense of it. Because you've served in the government, I'm sure you're privy to much more information than we have. What went wrong? What happened, sir?
It's a very sad day for our country. It's a very terrible incident that we have been observing from the early morning today, and we were not sure the scale of damages. Still yet to be figured out, but it looks like that it's massive. It's unprecedented, and it's been like we never imagined that this scale of disaster that we can face, because not in our recent history, not in our memory. Although we had something like some glacier burst happened last year in 2025. We could have learned there was some cross-border information sharing. There seemed to be some lack, and which is realized soon from this morning. And now it's looking like for the future there is some learnings from this. So I think I would say the first. We lacked in information sharing. That is one lack that we can observe at this point. But looking at the scale of this outburst, people had, if it was imagine if it was in the night time, it would have been even more disastrous. But even in early morning, we had some level of information downstream. So probably we saved some people because of that information flow. But at the cross-border point, where people had very little time to evacuate themselves, that's why we have seen a huge number of missing people reported. It's very sad reality. Even my very close friends, some people from my own village area have been missing from the morning. So that is the situation now.
But no clarity on the kind of loss of life and property that has happened. The administration has not released any numbers, figures. I'm being told that this could be a tragedy of the scale of 2015 earthquake that came in Nepal.
It's, I think, even bigger than that, I would say, even bigger than that. And the 2015 earthquake hit the eastern part of the border, the Tatopani, the Kodari site. So that is it, not revived. Now this border was being a main cross-border, even for the pilgrimage purpose or commercial purpose. And this has been hit by this disaster so much that, it would take another how many years to reconstruct this. It's that much of bigger scale, and nobody can figure out, in this 30 span of time, we are still facing some alerts. It's still like it's going downstream. So government has mobilized all their mechanisms. So it should take few days to actually, understand the scale of disaster.
Okay. Mr. Madhav Prasad, because you've been a minister there, it's not as if something like this happens without a warning. Now, we don't know what kind of warning was given, but from what we understand, there was, there was an avalanche. It collected on the Tibetan side, and there was an earthquake, and there was a gush of water that came into Nepal, killing all these people. Now, we don't have official numbers, and very little information is coming in of how many are missing. Just the scale of this tragedy, if you can take us through what is available publicly in Nepal now. How many are missing? How big is this tragedy?
The number of missing at the border site is more than 1,000. That is the speculation. But from that, downstream, people have got some moments, some chance to left their resident, move upward. But still, there is a big number missing that we have found. But this particular time, it's a Purnima. So for the Raksha Bandhan purpose, for pilgrimage, there's so many Nepalese who are traveling to Gosaikunda. There is one pilgrimage site. And there are people traveling to Manasrovar, Kailas Manasrovar, who are crossing that river side, that border site. And plus, this is the high time that, commercially also, people, there's a lot of vehicle passing through that route. So it looks like, we are yet to figure out, number could be much, much bigger than that we have estimated now. Because we have seen from the social media that people are saying that, okay, this number of people are from this district missing, that number. So it's still collecting all that information and getting up roughly, it is still a challenging thing. We cannot say exactly how many numbers, but the rescue operation is undergoing. The number of rescue, because of this limitation, it's a certain number, very few, not even 1,000 rescue that has been completed so far.
Okay.
So also, we cannot, what is the scale of the missing numbers at?
Also, Mr. Prasad, do you have a sense of what kind of damage has happened on the Tibetan side of the border post? Because it seems that the cloudburst or the glacial lake burst happened 20 kilometers before the Tibet-Nepal border. Because we are also hearing reports that Beijing has released 200 crore rupees. In dollars, it's about $25 million for immediate relief and rescue, which means there is loss of life and property on the Chinese side as well.
Yeah, that's what we have also heard from the information that has been coming out here. Even the Chinese government side, they have put the concern. Even the president has made the public notice, and they have also offered some support to Nepal. Even Indian side, they have come as soon as this incident happened for the support, and the World Bank has also approached for the support. So it looks like the Tibetan side, that is also a route for this Kailas Manasrovar travel route, and there is a market area as well that has been affected hardly. And we have seen from the videos that you have also played in your media that the custom offices, from the Chinese side also swiped away. So it looks like they have also faced a huge damage by this incident.
Yeah.
So while we assess the damage, we have seen that you have been a minister. What is the government's preparedness plan? Nepal is frequent to flash floods, earthquakes. What is the government's, rapid action team doing?
So the current government has immediately convened a meeting, and so now they have declared that area as emergency prone area. So it allows you certain authority to mobilize all your resources. Decisions can be expedited and resources can be mobilized. So the government announced this emergency state on that part. From the preparatory part, Nepal is this earthquake, like disaster-prone area. Some early warning systems were introduced, but this level of damage, it happened in Tibetan side, and like as soon as people received this alert from that side, it was passed down to the downstream area. There are 5 districts that from Himal, the northern side to the southern border area. So along this downstream river side, this alert were sent out. That is why we have seen the less human casualties downstream. But what happened in the border area on that very location? So the scale was unprecedented, and information flow was lacking there. So we could have gotten the alert earlier than that we received this morning. We at the border area, they have received the 10 or 15-minute windows only for the preparation and leaving the places. Even this very rugged area, there's the cliffs, all both sides. So even you run away, you cannot actually go up in the hill. So that's what we have also seen in the videos. So there is some, out of your imagination, it's bigger than our preparedness could actually afford.
Sir, in fact, the video there that says building swept away, it's not a building, but it's a border checkpost. So I'll just make that correction. This is a border checkpost and not a building, so we'll just make that correction, ladies and gentlemen. This is a border checkpost in the Nepal-Tibet border. I want to show you the videos. The Nepal-Tibet border, where hundreds of people in this specific border itself were swept away. This is one of the most defining videos that came in from Nepal. Now, what went wrong in Nepal, as explained by the former minister and some of the experts who are also live with us? I'd like to show you the map. As we stay with the pictures, we'll quickly take you through what went wrong. Many people asking what went wrong, how did a tragedy of this scale happen? From the Nepalese experts, the geologists. Now, this is where it all started. There was an ice avalanche. The ice avalanche led to the surge in waters. There was an avalanche that was reported early this morning, a little after 8 a.m. And that avalanche led to the surge in waters. It came down and it came towards the Lende River. It came towards the Lende River, and it may have blocked this Lende River. And because of that, water had accumulated in this particular point. Let's go to point number 3. Water had accumulated in the Lende River, and there was a blockage because of the ice avalanche and the water that was accumulated. And the water, there was a sudden downstream into Bhote Koshi, and experts believe that it was caused by a quake this morning at 8:37 in Nepal. The quake measured 4.4 on the Richter scale. There was a quake, and this was recorded even by USGS, and that quake was about 30 to 40 kilometers north of Gosainkunda, which was a famous tourist spot, and this was also recorded. That led to the flood, and all the waters surged through the Bhote Koshi river a little after 9 a.m. So when you look at the timeline of the quake that was recorded, the waters that flowed down this river, the Bhote Koshi river, the timelines match. So they believe that there is the ice avalanche was the trigger point perhaps early this morning. So we're going back to the pictures. We'll go full frame to the pictures. And Abhishek is also getting in some breaking news updates on from Nepal. Let's go to the pictures, more videos from Nepal. We have about 20 defining images from Nepal. This is a border checkpoint, Abhishek, a border checkpoint where most of these buses were plying pilgrims to China for the Kailash Mansarovar.
Well, yes, and Niranjan, what we are getting to understand is that this flash flood has happened over a stretch of about 100 kilometers, of which in about 40 kilometers it's been severe to the scale that it has taken away with it all that came its way bridges, valleys, villages, towns, and whatever markets. And the Nepalese authorities are yet to ascertain the scale of the damage. The damage is there on the Chinese side also, as I was mentioning earlier. Reports suggest that the emergency relief funds to the tune of about 200 crore rupees or 250 crore rupees have been released by the Chinese authorities. That gives you an idea of the kind of damage they are suspecting on their side. And these pictures speak for themselves, Niranjan, in terms of the scale of the tragedy that's really unfolding in front of our eyes. No numbers yet from any official sources. One good news I can share, which is that there was a school near this border checkpost called Trishuli Madhyamik Vidyalaya, and all 1,500 plus students of that school are said to be safe. They have been accounted for. And that's a report coming in from Kathmandu. This was feared to be a tragedy panning out. There was a school near this checkpost which we see obliterated in front of our eyes. And what we are seeing is that, what we are hearing is that the school is not affected, and that all 1,500 children are said to be safe. For the next video, I take it to Rakshita.
Bhote Koshi.
Yeah, this is another visual that shows the horrific destruction. You can see in this sudden surge of water how this entire structure is swept away. It is swept away. It is just engulfing it in that huge wave that we see right now from one of the mobile footages that is coming in right now. This happened in daytime, and this sudden surge of water, you cannot really predict this, Abhishek. As we see, there is hardly any time when there's when this sort of a flash flood happens, as we can clearly see it happen in just few seconds. And you can see the sun even shining. And just after that, we are also getting in more and more visuals, which we will be playing out. We are getting more visuals, in fact, that show the extent of how furious these flash floods are. We are getting more and more visuals from different locations right now as we speak. We are showing you visuals from near the Nepal-Tibet border. We are also showing you the visuals from a port in Tibet, that's just opposite Nepal's Rasuwa district. This is Trishuli, you see that the homes are destroyed. In the low-lying areas, of course, have been severely affected, understandably, and evacuation is also very, very difficult. That's why we understand that the airlifting transport aircraft are on standby right now in Hindon and Palam Air Base of India. Abhishek. In fact, we have Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta also joining us on the broadcast. We're getting Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta.
From Kathmandu.
He is he is from the NIDM, National Institute of Disaster Management, joining us live, sir. So this is, of course, a very, very difficult, race against time, because we see this is a flash flood that happens in a few moments. And right now, sir, how do you gauge the situation, especially when it comes to finding those hundreds of tourists who are missing right now? It's a difficult task.
I think we all are thinking back of the Uttarakhand flood 2013. And in fact, just last year we had Dharali. And this particular incident is, in fact, in the scale much larger than they all, if we integrate all. So, and the same way, like in Uttarakhand floods also, there was a challenge of multiple events possible. So here also, while we are suspecting, and some indications are there of the snow avalanche, but microseismicity that has also played a role. There are strong chances of the medium scale earthquake that has come up. But what is important, that this kind of the scale of disaster, usually there is a lack of preparedness in such for such major and very complex kind of disasters. People have some level of preparedness at the government level, the tehsil, taluka, particularly for the landslides, which are mostly the known sites or the flash floods, but not such kind of scale. So that has been the very unprecedented nature. And so two aspects I would look here. One is the damage. So damage, certainly the damage assessment will immediately start, and it will take some time to really understand. Second thing is establishing the theory of cause. But what is more important at the present, that how many people are really stranded at different locations. So whatever we are guessing about the number of missing people, it just throws integrating the information from here and there. But we do not have a clarity, and agencies will also have a better idea in some days, in fact, because the tourists, their informations may be available, but people who are the local inhabitants or the local villagers, they travel and their informations are sometimes not available. So this is also possible. And how many people are still in a situation of risk, how many people got buried in the debris, there may be multiple challenges. So it is that kind of a challenge has come. And that is the reason now the countries are coming forward to cooperate and to help the victims and help each other in this situation. Indian part is also well aware and well prepared now, because there are challenges on this side as well. And we all basically share a kind of a common culture and common geography. So this is very, 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 very devastating kind of incident.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for joining us there on Republic TV. And we continue to bring more updates from Nepal on that situation as the rescue operations are underway. And of course, many states, many locations are on alert in India. UP and Bihar are on alert. With that, we step into a short break. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with more updates.
Co-powered by Century HTF Premium Plus, हरे बोट का असली बॉस।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
पापा
सॉरी यार, गलती हो गई है। ये चोट खर्चा वर्चा।
अरे लास्ट बॉल पे छक्का भी तुम्हारा।
छक्का?
सब कैशलेस हो गया है। हाँ।
ला भाई मेरा बैट। वो अभी तो ठीक हुआ तू।
अभी तो डिस्चार्ज हुआ यार।
बैट किसका है?
टाटा AIG है तो भरोसा है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग, 4 लोगों के पास है ये।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग
है, हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
Pro-Pakistan Mamdani targets RSS chief. Mamdani opposes Bhagwat at Madison. Indians in New York fight back Mamdani. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by Century HDF Premium Plus, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस. Co-powered by SBI General Insurance, चुनिए भरोसा अपनों सा. Co-powered by Century HDF Premium Plus, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात.
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
हनी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath, there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
पापा
सॉरी यार गलती हो गई है ये चोट खर्चा वर्चा।
अरे लास्ट बॉल पे छक्का भी तुम्हारा।
छक्का?
सब कैशलेस हो गया है। हाँ
ला भाई मेरा बैट। वो अभी तो ठीक हुआ तू।
जो डिस्चार्ज हुआ यार।
बैट किसका है?
टाटा AIG है तो भरोसा है।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
बड़े बड़े इम्तिहानों से गुजरता है, वक्त तराशता है जिसे, तो जाने क्या क्या न करता है। जब तक खुशबू सबसे बेहतरीन न बन जाए, आराम के लिए नहीं ठहरता है। जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए, उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है। तभी तो रिचमंड बनना नहीं आसान है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what means for an ordinary family. Every trip to the market costs more. Every saving loses value and the national currency continues to slide. In Tehran, people are reportedly lining up to buy US dollars, desperately trying to protect whatever savings they have left. One 73-year-old Iranian summed up the public mood bluntly. There is no hope for a deal and a peace.
More and more visuals are coming in from Nepal, where the flash floods have wreaked havoc. Several towns are submerged, several areas are submerged. And this is the visual where people are, you can hear them shouting and screaming while calling out for help. This is what happened when the river was swelled up after a glacier and avalanche that is reportedly currently the reason. And as per the final figures coming in, the Nepalese Prime Minister has confirmed that 50 people have died in these flash floods so far, while 133 Indians are reportedly missing as well. These were the tourists who had gone out to Nepal in this time, but unfortunately, due to the sudden flash flood, this is what happened. Devastating mudslide also tore through the Gyoring port on the Tibet-Nepal border, with CCTV capturing a wave of mud sweeping through. Several images have come in so far from Nepal, where you can see the panic-stricken people running helter-skelter for safer locations. And right after the break, we will tell you more about what's unfolding, how the rescue and relief operations are unfolding in Nepal, with India also pledging support.
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
ऑप्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग, 4 लोगों के पास है।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
पापा
सॉरी यार, गलती हो गई है। ये चोट खर्चा वर्चा।
अरे लास्ट बॉल पे छक्का भी तुम्हारा।
छक्का?
सब कैशलेस हो गया है। हाँ,
ला भाई मेरा बैट। वो अभी तो ठीक हुआ तू।
अभी तो डिस्चार्ज हुआ यार।
बैट किसका है?
टाटा AIG है तो भरोसा है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग
है। हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
Ayo,
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
बड़े बड़े इम्तिहानों से गुजरता है, वक्त तराशता है जिसे, तो जाने क्या क्या ना करता है। जब तक खुशबू सबसे बेहतरीन न बन जाए, आराम के लिए नहीं ठहरता है। जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए, उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है। तभी तो रिचमंड बनना नहीं आसान है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पापा।
सॉरी यार, ये गलती हो गई है। ये चोट खर्चा वर्चा।
अरे लास्ट बॉल पे छक्का भी तुम्हारा।
छक्का?
सब कैशलेस हो गया है। हाँ।
ला भाई मेरा बैट। वो अभी तो ठीक हुआ तू।
तो डिस्चार्ज हुआ यार।
बैट किसका है?
टाटा AIG है तो भरोसा है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what means for an ordinary family. Every trip to the market costs more. Every saving loses value and the national currency continues to slide. In Tehran, people are reportedly lining up to buy US dollars, desperately trying to protect whatever savings they have left. One 73-year-old Iranian summed up the public mood bluntly. There is no hope for a deal and a peace. And now comes the next blow. The Trump administration is preparing another sanctions package, including possible secondary sanctions against countries that continue doing business with Iran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has argued that the pressure campaign has pushed the Iranian economy into unprecedented distress. And there is another major development. The United Arab Emirates, traditionally one of Iran's biggest trading partners and a major source of imports, has announced the suspension of trade with Iran. Now that could further squeeze Tehran's access to critical goods and commercial networks. So is this Trump's endgame? Strangle the economy, increase isolation and force Iran back to the negotiating table? Perhaps. But Iran has one weapon that cannot be measured simply by looking at the value of the rial. Before this conflict, roughly 1/5 of world's traded oil passed through this narrow but strategically critical waterway, the Strait of Hormuz. Now attacks and threats against ships have brought traffic to a near standstill, and that changes the equation completely, because Iran may be under economic pressure, but if the Strait of Hormuz remains disrupted, the consequences are not limited to Tehran. Oil markets are affected, global trade is affected, and economies around the world feel the shock. Iran is now reportedly refusing to fully reopen the waterway unless it is allowed to charge ships. And reports suggest Iran and Oman are discussing a management of the strait. So while Washington attempts to choke Iran economically, Tehran is signaling that it still has the ability to create economic pain far beyond its own borders. This is no longer just a sanctions war. The rial may be collapsing, inflation may be crushing Iranian households, sanctions may be tightening, but Iran is also signaling that economic warfare cuts both ways. Trump wants to increase pressure on Tehran. Tehran wants to demonstrate that if Iran pays the price, the world economy may pay one too. And that is why the collapse of Iran's currency is about much more than the rial. It is now at the heart of much bigger geopolitical showdown. Can Trump break Iran economically before Iran succeeds in making cost of this conflict unbearable for the rest of the world? That
Pro-Pakistan Mamdani targets RSS chief. Mamdani opposes Bhagwat at Madison. Indians in New York fight back Mamdani. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by Century HDF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Co-powered by SBI General Insurance, Chuniye Bharosa, Apno Sa. A party that backed triple talaq. After backing triple talaq, nikah halala and hijab. Rahul Gandhi's mission to target Hindus. Debating tonight at 9 p.m. Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century HDF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. A party that backed triple talaq. after backing triple talaq, nikah halala and hijab. Rahul Gandhi's mission to target Hindus, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Pro-Pakistan Mamdani targets RSS chief. Mamdani opposes Bhagwat at Madison. Indians in New York fight back Mamdani. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Berger Paints, Rang Bana Rahe. Powered by Century HTF Premium Plus, Hare Bhote Ka Asli Boss. Co-powered by SBI General Insurance, Chuniye Bharosa, Apno Sa.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a terrible, terrible flash flood in Nepal. And right on top, on behalf of everyone here at the Republic Media Network, we want to say to the people of Nepal, the brave people of Nepal, that India is with Nepal, Bharat is with Nepal. What has happened is extraordinarily tragic. When a sudden surge of river from the Tibetan side, the Chinese side, triggers a flash flood that affects one whole district and all the downstream areas along the Trishuli River in Nepal. Some of the visuals of what has happened are truly heart-rending and extremely worrying. The first visual I'll show you, you can see the sheer power of this flash flood, because in a blink of an eye, a massive wall of water surges through the valley, demolishing buildings. Then in visual 2, you will see how there is this terrifying moment when people are just going about their daily routine, suddenly overrun and completely overwhelmed by the flood. This picture has gone viral. It's just so scary because the waves are many, many stories high. In the third visual, you will see how people are running across the roads and the bridge trying to save their lives, but the water from the flood completely overwhelms the area and it sweeps everything away, completely submerging this whole area. Look at the force of the water as it enters that area. Ladies and gentlemen, the extent of the devastation and destruction is so extreme. The sheer overwhelming force of the volume of water in visual 4, which is causing the devastation. Cars are getting rocked, completely taken away, house broken, taken away too. And in visual 5, the water's volume and force and the speed with which it is devastating everything in its path is clearly visible. You will see the kind of embankments, like dam-like structures which are washed away. I have personally never seen this force of a flood happening. They say it's a combination of events, but there are certain concerns about what has happened from the Chinese side. We'll talk about that later today on the program. Viewers, there is a 10-second visual which shows the exact magnitude of this flood. You must see this because this is from a top angle. Just look at the sheer strength as it takes the house away and then submerges the whole area. And in the last visual, you will see a bridge which is swept away. This is unprecedented destruction and devastation in Nepal. So I wanted to begin my program this evening by saying our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Nepal. And at 8:35 p.m. tonight, we'll talk about what could have caused this flash flood in Nepal. Now I want to talk about a pro-Pakistani man, an anti-Indian man, an anti-Hindu man, and as I call him, the lamppost next to Trump, and his name is Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani says that RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat should not be allowed to come to the United States of America, to come to New York. And I want to tell Zohran Mamdani, shut up, Zohran, sit down, Zohran. You have nothing to do with India. You know nothing about India. The problem with people like Zohran Mamdani is because they are brown skinned, they want to maximize the political impact of their brown skin. So they want to look at everyone else who is brown skinned and look upon them as a vote bank. Zohran has nothing to do with India. Zohran is from Uganda. He's from Uganda. He's some 37 years old. His father is an Ugandan academic, Mahmoud Mamdani. His mother is a sort of America-settled filmmaker, Meera Nair. And Zohran Mamdani, therefore, has nothing to do with India. He has no understanding of India. He has never really spent time in India. He has no cultural affinity to India. And he's lied about India. In the past, he has said, because he wanted the Muslim vote, in the past, he's wanted the Muslim vote when he ran for mayor in New York. He said that I'm surprised that there are any Muslims at all alive in Gujarat. But he never corrected himself with the real facts. He never mentioned how many millions of Muslims are there in Gujarat. He never mentioned it because he wants the Muslim vote. Ladies and gentlemen, he's basically looking for creation of what I believe is a Muslim exclusionary state. And let me make a prediction today. This same man is dangerous. He stood like a good boy, like a lamppost next to Donald Trump after questioning Donald Trump in his campaign. But when he was face to face with Donald Trump, he stood like a cowardly, spineless lamppost, like a good boy, his hands in that position, which shows his defensive nature. But this man, ladies and gentlemen, I make a prophecy, is working towards the creation of an exclusionary Muslim state within the United States of America. He wants influence, and therefore he wants to, ladies and gentlemen, have that influence, get all the Muslim votes with him, and that's why he supports Umar Khalid. He wants to widen his Muslim vote bank. He supports Sarjil Imam. He supports people who say that we must use Muslim demographics to break up India. Can that tell you something about what he wants to do in the US? He will at one point of time turn into a secessionist in the United States of America. I would like to request all the Swaminarayan Mandir, which has allowed him in the past, not to allow this man anywhere close. BAP, Swaminarayan Mandir, Ganesh Mandirs, all the Hindu temples in the United States of America should not allow this man who is anti-Hindu, who is a fascist, who is anti-Hindu, who does Muslim appeasement politics, who is pro-Pakistan, to enter a single temple. I would request Swaminarayan Temple in Queens, which has allowed him in the past, not to allow him. He is a fascist. And in fact, Hindus should rise against this fascism of Mamdani. Please do not take this man lightly. He just uses Bollywood music when he is elected because he wants to play on to a certain kind of Indian sentiment. But in the past, he has spoken against the CAA law. He has said in the past that there has been a massacre of Muslims in India, which is an absolute lie. He stands in solidarity with the Tukre gang in India. And in fact, for all of these reasons, the government of India must never allow him on Indian soil. We will protest if this man, if this Pakistani man, pro-Pakistani man, because he's culturally, in thought, in temperament, he stands with the ISI point of view. If this man is allowed on Indian soil, we will protest against it. And therefore, I call upon the Hindu community in the United States of America to stand in solidarity with the RSS, the visit of the RSS, and he must know what the RSS stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, the RSS stands for the concept of cultural nationalism, which means there is a common ancestry of all Indians, regardless of religion, regardless of anything. Indians have common ancestors, common history, common cultural heritage, because we are, unlike America, which is a 250-year-old country and celebrating that embarrassing fact that it has hardly got any history, we are a civilization that goes back 6,000 years and more. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the RSS which has outreach among the Muslims through the Muslim Rashtriya Manch, affiliated platform that engages with Muslim intellectuals, Muslim ulema, to foster dialogue. This is not something that the liar, pro-Pakistani, anti-Hindu Mamdani is going to talk about. In fact, Mohan Bhagwat has repeatedly stated that the RSS rejects religious discrimination, but Mamdani supports religious discrimination. The RSS supports every citizen's constitutional right to practice their own religion. If Mamdani wants to lecture the RSS, he should start first by telling us why does he find common ground with the ISI? Why does he love Asif Munir's point of view? Did he speak one word when Hindus were killed and told by the terrorists there, sent by Asif Munir to read the Kalma, and because they could not read the Kalma, they were identified as Hindus, were shot at in cold blood, point blank? At one point of time, did this man speak any one word about it? Did he condemn that massacre in a single platform? Therefore, the world's biggest hypocrite, extreme political radical, and a person who I prophesize will want to work towards the creation of an exclusionary Islamic state within the United States of America. Therefore, everyone, Trump, conservative, Republican, everyone should be very, very wary about this man. He's a dangerous man. Watch out for him. As far as the RSS is concerned, whether in Madison Square or not, whether in a park or the street, I know that the people of New York, the Hindus of New York, will be with Mohan Bhagwat when he's there. More power to Mohan Bhagwat and to the RSS. As far as Mamdani is concerned, Mamdani, you're a fascist. You're exclusionary. People like you lead to the backsliding of democracy because you are intolerant by nature, and we have explained to the people what you're all about. I just wish Americans see through you sooner than later.
पर आपको एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। तुमने कभी किसी को वोट किया? कभी किसी को रैंक किया?
From Bollywood songs to dialogues from popular Indian movies, flaunting his Indian roots throughout his mayoral campaign.
Thank you to my family from Kampala to Delhi. And thank you to my wife Rama.
Zohran Mamdani built his election campaign on India Connect and became the first Indian-American mayor of New York. But he has been singing the anti-India tune all along. Now he opposes the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Chiefs event at the Madison Square.
Not only as an Indian American, but also as the mayor of a city that believes deeply in the belonging of each and every person, no matter their color, their creed, their religion, their faith, wherever they're from.
Should the rally be canceled, though, at MSG this weekend?
I don't support the rally, but I don't know if the city has any jurisdiction on canceling a private event.
During his stay in New York, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat is expected to take part in Universal Oneness program, address a gathering of around 5,000 people at the iconic venue this Saturday. Looking at Mamdani's leanings, one would not be surprised at his stand. Of course, cancelling the event is out of his jurisdiction. His support for anti-India elements and Pakistan slices through his hypocrisy on what he calls vision of India. It's the same Mamdani who wrote a letter for Tukre Tukre gang's Umar Khalid, questioning his incarceration. He even called Indian Prime Minister a war criminal. His idea of diversity and inclusivity is exposed when he backed anti-Semitic movement. He backed the movement that called for the boycott of Israelis. He hosted Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil at his official residence, who celebrates the Hamas ideology.
Perhaps even the duplicity as is coming across from Mr. Mamdani's statements in the media. He invokes pluralism and then he steps out to say, I'd like to see something stop. Now, I don't understand what kind of pluralistic mindset is this. And he seems to be no stranger to controversy. If one recalls correctly, his father seems to have written fairly controversial things about jihadis or terrorists being seen in the nature of army soldiers.
जोरान ममदानी जो ये चलाते हैं स्टॉप हिंदू हेट, स्टार्ट हिंदू हेट, ये कैंपेन क्यों तुष्टिकरण के कर रहे हैं? जब उन्हीं के अमेरिका में खालिस्तानी रैली अलाउड है, हमास को वो सपोर्ट करते हैं, वहाँ मोहन जी भागवत का रीच आउट जो है 2 लाख हिंदू अमेरिकन्स को, जो डॉक्टर्स हैं, इंजीनियर्स हैं, टैक्सी ड्राइवर्स हैं, राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ की दृष्टि से वो बोलते हैं कि हिंदू राष्ट्र का मतलब है वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, मीन्स दैट द वर्ल्ड इज योर फैमिलीज.
There is deep anger among the Indian American community living in New York and surrounding states. It's time that the nationalists call out the duplicity of the New York Mayor Mamdani.
Starting with, we got Mary Miliband with us. She's an international singer. She's called America's national anthem singer, cultural ambassador. She backs the event of Mohan Bhagwat. Why is Mamdani playing this card? What is his intent? Mary, what do you think is his intent? Why is he attacking this event of Mohan Bhagwat?
Sure, it's great to see you, my friend. And I tell you, it's anytime a Mamdani starts speaking, people get excited and riled up. Like, first of all, his comments affect anything. Just so you know, this event is going to go on. MSG, like every corporation in New York, is a corporation, and they respond to capitalism. So Mamdani can stand on stages and give his rhetoric, but the event will go on. So I just wanted to say that up front. Mamdani's comments and his whole essence has been one of anti-democracy, anti-religious freedom, anti-anything that doesn't promote his own religion. That is the truth. And I'm a New Yorker. New Yorkers, Americans, we were all certainly exposed to Mamdani during his election season, but we are now very, very well acquainted with what he really stands for. And that is an extreme, very dangerous movement that is now attached to this democratic socialist of America movement that we're seeing certainly across the country that is promoting these anti-democracy, anti-religious freedom, anti-Semitic, very hostile against Israel, anti-Hindu, anti-everything, Arnab. And so it's very dangerous, and he's only exposing himself. Every time he stands on a stage, we learn more and more about how he certainly doesn't represent India, doesn't represent at all the essence of America, and is quite ignorant to what people around the world believe. People around the world believe in oneness in the context of the title of this rally that's happening in New York, unity, inclusion, that yes, we can come from different zip codes and different religions and different backgrounds, but we have a respect for each other. That's what a democracy promotes. That's what religious freedom promotes. Mamdani stands for none of that. He's very dangerous, as well as this movement.
I think it's dangerous too, Mary. You know, I thought, you know, if I take the sum total of everything he said, I think he's an ambitious young politician, and eventually he's working towards the creation of an Islamic, demographically and politically, culturally Islamic-dominated state within the United States of America. That's why he has skipped the India Day parade, but he's attending every Pakistani event. He goes all out for the Muslim events. For all Muslim events, he's right there, up there in front. And anything that is not Muslim is second priority for him.
That's exactly right. And even more so, he is anti-Prime Minister Modi. As you know, Arnab, I'm a big proponent of the Prime Minister, his policies, and certainly how he has positioned India in the context of geopolitics. And so a lot of his comments are not only directed certainly to the RSS chief and the energies of what's about to happen in New York, but they're also directly directed to Prime Minister Modi and his leadership in India. It's no secret that, yes, Prime Minister Modi and the BJP, which is part of the conservative movement, are governing India. But Prime Minister Modi is a leader for all people. And Mandani is completely against that agenda as well. So there's political dynamics going on, there's religious conversation going on, and the more he stands on a stage, the more he exposes that real agenda. And it's to what you just said. It is a very anti-democracy, anti-religious freedom, anti-everything. And it certainly does not represent who we are as Americans. I know it doesn't represent the Indian community.
No.
And yeah.
After the way he's been talking, I began by saying today, just because you got brown skin, you cannot claim to have any Indian ancestry. He has got no cultural Indian ancestry. He does not identify with India, identified with Pakistan. He cannot be pro-India. And I think he's a bigger danger for America because at some point of time, he will show his real colors and demand the creation of an Islamic state within the US. Mary, thank you very much. And thank you for standing up for what is right and what is good. And I hope you're going to be there at that event. Are you going to be there at the event?